So I texted Dan and I texted Sean to their actual numbers, right? Because I'm like VIP, I have their numbers. Another flex I did today. So Dan and Sean can't go live today. So I go, I'll go live. I got 5 likes. That's a lot. Better than most posts I do. Start giving crap about people. You guys never know when their solo party is gonna happen. They're gonna fall down this parachute hole. It's like a hole that you go down and you can't get out of.
Do you parachute down the hole?
You parachute into the hole like Alice in Wonderland.
Are you describing spelunking? I think
Going into a cave, that's not a hole, that's a cave.
Explain to me the difference between a hole in the ground and a cave.
Because cave people live there. Aliens used to live in caves, and now they don't anymore because we found them, so they live in deeper caves. But a hole is where rabbits live. Do you think that when we get on Earth, we're like, yes, let me name all the animals? I'm sure, the Bible does say that, okay? But we don't know words. We can't name all these things, okay?
So you're saying
aliens had to come over and help us. And they made caves because they're like, let's also disappear so God doesn't get mad that we're helping you name a hippopotamus, a platypus, and then you get a frog and a dog and then a log. A chog probably somewhere. And then the aliens from their moon tunnel on the dark side of the moon where the tunnel is at now, because there's a tunnel there now. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know there was a moon
tunnel. That's where they live, and they saw what's happening, and they're like, ooh, let's do a little mischief action. And they calm down and they start naming shit for us.
What language did they speak? English?
Yes.
The aliens spoke English?
That's the language
of
that
God?
Started.
God's language is the aliens' language. It all started with English.
It started that way. And that's why no one wants to speak it anymore.
No one wants to speak English? I speak English. I love speaking English. I want to speak English. Who are the people that don't want to speak English?
Russians.
So the reason that the Russians don't want to speak English is because that's God's language. Also the aliens' native language. When the aliens came down in the moon tunnel and gave Adam and Eve the gift of language, it was in regular old Americanese.
Correction.
Thousands of years later, it has pissed off the Russians.
Correction corner for you. I never said God made English the language. I said aliens made English the language.
Oh, so we're gonna leave God right out of it.
Well, he was asleep. He was resting, David.
Then what happened when God woke up and he found out the aliens taught him English?
And he was like, well, too late now.
God was like, me, damn it. I was gonna teach him Hebrew.
Exactly. He's like, Hebrew's the fucking language.
Yeah.
I don't know how Hebrew goes, but something like that goes.
All right, do some more language impressions.
L'chaim. Hi,
All right, so
that's all I know.
How does Hebrew sound again go?
That's it. I just did it.
We'll just try it again.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Break glass.
This is pretty intense open here.
You know what I would love?
I would love to know what you would love.
A Chuck E. Cheese, but it's called Cheez-O-Pete's.
And why would you love that?
Because instead of a mouse, it's a cheese talking, and I would still get pizza. Do you remember the Hamburglar?
The what?
Hamburglar?
The what? It feels like there's just some extra things in there.
And then remember, who called the Hamburglar?
Nobody. It's called the Hamburglar.
Where's the policeman?
Not the Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar? Huh?
They had a policeman. He would
Woo.
chase the Hamburglar.
Welcome to the Shelf Turds. Today we have a great battle to share with you. And we are going to tell you all the frick about it, okay? How many charcoals are in it? How many barrels are in it? How much water maybe? Is there water in it?
There might be water in it.
Water.
So this video, this has been done by like every other channel. We're going to do our version of it. So what's been done by every other channel is We went to the liquor store and spent $400. How did we do?
Oh my gosh.
But here's the deal when it comes to this video.
Yes, let's do it.
We're not ancient men. We shop online. They're gonna hate it because none of the whiskeys we're about to bring forward did we physically go to a store and buy. All of these whiskeys were bought online.
And they're gonna be like, did you try that at your local bar for $32 a sip?
Did you make a relationship with the store owner first and then ask him to hold that bottle for you or call you when you got it?
I spent $400 in one full swoop. No, it wasn't on laxatives.
We spent $400 on whiskey. We're gonna show you what we bought and want to hear in the comments how we did.
$400 at the liquor store, and guess what I got? Barrel Bourbon, batch 036. This is $89.99.
And did we buy this one?
Yes, I think, no.
No, we didn't. The video's already a mess. This was provided to us by Barrel themselves, and they specifically said, stop pretending like you bought the things that we sent you and tell people we sent you the sample.
And then everyone's gonna be like, but I go and buy it. Fuck you, dude. Get your own goddamn channel.
Barrel Bourbon Batch 36 cask strength at 114.44 proof. This is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. Kentucky 8-year bourbon whiskey, Indiana 7.5, 8, and 10-year bourbon whiskeys, and Tennessee 8 and 15-year whiskeys go together to make a fantastic batch. And Barrel, doing work, always good at transparency, has moved the blend, the mix of whiskeys, to the front of the label to increase transparency on what they're doing.
When I see Barrel, I go, I have no expectation, because remember Dovetail?
I will say this. We were introduced to Barrels, pretty much one of their full lineups very early on, almost 4 years ago now. We tasted through it. We saw some of the prices on some of the initial things. We were like, Barrel might not be for us. In the last year, Barrel has completely changed our opinions about what they're doing and how they're doing it. Barrel Foundation, freaking game changer at $49.99. If you have not bought Barrel Foundation, go buy it. It will change your life as a $50 whiskey.
As a 50-year-old fucking man, that's you. Maybe older, probably.
The recent Barrel cask finish Mizunara is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've got a little sip of 36 prior to right now. I literally had to pull this out of Kira's hands before she drained it all, because I said, Barrel was kind enough to provide this bottle for us. We need to review it before you down the bottle. What do you get on that nose?
Gummy bears.
Really?
I'm not joking. Sniff that. Don't think of a freaking open bag of Haribo gummy bears.
I'm with you. There is definite oak and barrel influence along with that, but I'll say this, it's a very smooth oak on the nose. And I know that sounds dumb, but you get so much of that gummy bear Haribo nose, and then just like this toasty almond, toasty oak around it. It's not tannic, it's not super aged on the nose. It's just toasty almond and gummy bear.
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
I'm ready.
Do you remember Epcot?
Of course I do.
Okay, the Norway area.
Sure.
Where the frozen ride is.
Oh yeah.
You get the school bread. You have to go into the store.
Oh my gosh.
This smells like the basic bread that the school bread is, because it's not like a sweet bread. It's just like a hearty bread. But then on top of it, you get this toasted coconut. Granted, this is not coconut, but you get that toasted smell and a little bit of this custardy.
I am gonna rephrase what I said earlier about toasted almond because I was wrong. You're right. It is like a sweet confectionery bread, like a dessert bread, a bread that you would spend $12 on for a tiny loaf at Epcot. Like, wow, it's gummy bears and like gourmet sweet bread.
And I can't wait to spend another $12 million to go back down there. I don't even want to talk right now. I'm gonna let this linger in my mouth. Lemon, lime grinds, or not grinds.
Rinds, yeah.
Rinds. Some popping sugar almost. Like Pop Rocks, but it's not shoot. This is so delicious. Oh, gosh, hold on. I'm getting a burnt caramel in here.
Mm-hmm.
Now my mouth is just a warmth of, I'm gonna say bourbon.
It is, I think that gummy bear comes over. There is this rock candy and or pop rock vibe.
So it's like the sugar gets in your mouth and goes woo, and then it like dissipates. I don't know how to explain that.
I feel like the mouthfeel somehow is a slightly pop rocky. I feel like there's a definite rock candy vibe to this, like the best rock candy you've ever had, like the homemade stuff your neighbors would make, or like if you go to like some high-end confectionery store in like Gatlinburg, Tennessee, you walk away and you're like, I've never had a rock candy like this. Definite elements of cinnamon.
Oh gosh, yes.
A nice light cinnamon in there. And then there are still like some classic bourbon notes in there too, but it is so complex and layered on top of those classic bourbon notes. This is something that you could sip all day long.
Yes, that's why you had to take it away from me.
Literally, we had this once prior to today. And as Kira instantly got down to about here, in about 30 minutes, I said, let me get you some George Dickel or something.
And I was like, sure!
The age comes through without any elements of being overaged or being tannic. But the age sits there and really impresses you all throughout.
It's,
Barrel killed it again. They nailed it.
Well, Dovetail.
Listen, we've all done things in our past that we regret. I'm sure Barrel regrets the Dovetail releases of 4 and 5 years ago.
That's true. Do you know Presley now uses the joke, I was young and needed the money?
Well, I taught her to her.
Yeah. No, she did today. At the fucking bar where the thing I was at.
It's a funny joke.
You're making my hot tub dirty. Hit me. Look at that water. Hot tub. Dirty. Hot tub.
Working our way to $400-ish. Kira, what's next?
Old Overholt 10-year casket strength.
Casket strength?
Cask strength straight whiskey, not the gay one. All those words triggered me very much.
This is a 10-year sexually neutral bottle. So Old Overholt 10-year, we've seen a lot of different prices for it. What's really gonna piss off some people that watch this video is we didn't buy any of these in the store. We don't have any relationships to get these. We are a couple living in 2024. We ordered all of these online and they were hand delivered to our house. I believe we got this one at Bourbon Hunt USA for $99. And I believe that is a damn good price for this bottle.
And I believe if you have to pay gas to go anywhere, you're a chump. Have other people pay the gas.
So I've had a tiny sip of this prior to today, but that bottle's basically full. I am a huge fan of Old Overholt 114. Getting our hands on the cask strength 10-year is like a dream come true.
It's like a strawberry peach, almost mango as well smoothie. It is so fruity.
On the nose, you would never know it's a rye.
Oh my gosh,
Never know. And for being, what is it, like 120 proof? You don't mind if I reach across your breasts there?
Please do.
It's 121 proof. Would you ever guess that on the nose?
I don't know, I gotta do the vortex. So let me
Do the
do
vortex. The sexual vortex.
No, I'd say 109.
Honestly, I might guess 100. Now, I'm doing that of a Kenzie because our Glens are dirty right now, but that does not. No, it's like 121.
You're doing it out of a Kenzie. You're not doing it out of a Northern glass. Those are the best sniffers. How about you sniff this?
We're going to get in so much trouble with the purest whiskey tube viewers.
They're like,
because we didn't go to any stores. I'm not using Glens. People are unsubscribing from this channel in droves.
They're also like, I don't buy CDs or Bluetooth. I get all my shit on vinyl. It's very summer fruity to me.
Okay, I can get some red fruits on there. It's very light here. I'm gonna do this. Is this something that whiskey people do?
No. Now you're contaminating it with your hand juices.
Oh, geez, I just hand juiced all of my whiskey. It is now lemon and strawberry on the nose in this Kenzie.
It's so, yes.
But I'm not getting any rye spice. I am getting elements of a very mature whiskey, but still I would say it's very tame and subtle at this point.
That's a fucking good rye whiskey. That's rye.
Mm-hmm.
All right, rye haters. I want to bring you to the dark side so bad. I've never had a rye whiskey that disappoints me. I can get that super dark, coffee drinkers. Let's put this in a coffee drinker kind of perspective,
do it.
right? Black coffee. Hated it.
Just called coffee now.
I fucking love it, okay? But I still like a little cream, a little flavor into it. I feel like that's what you all are kind of comparing rye to, is to coffee. But you're getting so much more of this. I want to say they're like unripened fruit, like a strawberry, but it's very green yet. And it's hard to squeeze. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
There's a large subpopulation in the whiskey tube community that overlooks ryes. And I think because of that, a lot of ryes have evolved and gotten so much better, and people sort of scoff at it like, oh, I don't want this bright minty rye in my mouth. Not all ryes are super minty. Not all ryes are super rye-y. This rye, I would again classify as a bourbon drinker's rye. This is one of the very first ryes that I've ever gotten some dominant peanut notes on it, like a Kentucky bourbon. Almost like, if I had to say the rye to peanut ratio on my palate is like 60-40. Yes, there's more rye there than peanut, but it is so dry roasted peanut, unsalted, along with that rye, with nice light citrus notes over top. The age shines through. No way I would guess is at 121 proof. It drinks like 107 tops, and that shows you how mature this barrel was.
Nailed it. You won charades. This thing is tits.
Next whiskey on our way to $400. This one is currently in limited availability, or by the time of this video comes out, it may be sold out of its limited availability, potentially to come back to the Nerds and Turds store sometime in the very near future. This is one of Gene Nassif at Cat's Eyes' favorite barrels he has in stock right now being July of 2024. He's, at the moment, keeping this barrel for himself, the entire barrel. Yet hinted recently that this might be an upcoming Nerds and Turds pick. Patreon, The Bourbon Wrench, Patreon, Shelf Turds. For $64.99, our Patreon got a limited release of a Bardstown Bourbon Co. High Rye 6.5-year bourbon, proofed at perfection at 122 proof. This thing,
such a fucking steal.
at $64.99, this is Bourbon of the Year material. I kid you not. Gene Nassif would agree with me. If you don't like what Kira and I have to say, you probably trust Gene more. Gene has an entire 53-gallon barrel of this that he does not want to release. He loves it that much.
Don't pass these by. They're freaking great. And this one in particular is a giant grape nut brie. Okay, I know everyone hates grape nuts. I get it, okay? But you open up grape nuts. Maybe I'm thinking honey bunches of oats or something like that. But you open it up in that aroma, this plume of sweetness and grape and brown sugar and honey.
It reminds me also of a breakfast cereal. Is it Special K that had like the flakes and the dehydrated strawberries in it? Like very much like that, but that after like a little bit of milk has hydrated it a little bit, and you kind of get that waft of strawberry that comes up, that waft of the oats just starting to get some moisture in it. I could nose this for days.
Iced tea?
Oh, the flavored iced tea. I wouldn't go peach on it, but you know what? Holy shit. Maybe peach iced tea. Maybe, this is gonna be weird, like a pear seltzer.
I can maybe see a pear, but you know what? I don't really know what a pear is. I've had a pear one time in my life, and it was sandy, and I vowed to never eat it again.
Pears are like vaginas. Sometimes they're sandy.
All right, I'm going in.
Gene, you son of a bitch.
It's sweet. It's not burnt, but what's that? It's charcoaly. It's deep.
This nose is so deceptive, and I understand why Gene literally does not want to part with 50 gallons of it at Cat's Eye because the nose is so light and fluffy and cereally and dehydrated fruits and maybe some peach teas in there and maybe some pear notes and just light fruits. And then you taste it.
Yes.
And it turns beautifully dark on you. Not tannic, not over oaked, just beautiful dark red fruits, barrel char, the right amount of oak, but I wouldn't say oak spices, just dark oak, burnt barrel, dark fruits.
Yep.
Burnt brown sugar, molasses, and
It's almost like a cocoa wheat. Have you ever had cocoa wheats?
yeah, but I would say darker. Cocoa wheats with a shit ton of natural molasses
yeah.
on it.
So I'm going to also give you, if anyone has never had these poor ass cereals before, you're like, dude, I woke up with French toast. Okay. Have you been to an aquarium? Probably. Okay. Because you have eaten French toast in the morning. The aquarium starts you off with some really bright, fun fish. All right. You make your way through. It gets a little bit darker. You see some jellyfish. You're like, ooh, that's fun. And then you see an octopus. It's a little darker because it's just one octopus in a tiny square and he's really trying to get out. You get sad, you move on. You see a shark. The shark is just eaten. Blood's everywhere. That is this drink.
Can we talk about the finish for a minute? This finish, the entire time we're talking about an aquarium and a shark and God knows what else. This finish is continuing to go on in this subtle yet strong, mature way. It is like a fantastic, the finish itself is like a fantastic Elijah Craig barrel proof and how it just goes on and on and on. And the maturity says, hey, the proof and the maturity says, I'm not going to stop you from speaking. At the same time, I'm going to give you the longest finish of your GD life.
Yeah, that's the shark eating another shark.
Next on this list, this is a bourbon whiskey that we got turned on to because of Bourbon Outfitters and the Bourbon Junkies. They picked a short barrel of this brand a while ago. We picked it up. I think the short barrel, single barrel was like $119. It was everything that it was supposed to be and more. Scratch that, it was $149. It was $149. It was everything it was supposed to be and more. We then, on Bourbon Outfitters, saw batch number 3 come out from Old Louisville 7-year, and for $99, we had to pick it up. This is 112.8 proof. It is MGP bourbon, and Old Louisville doing big things, about to crack this thing and get into it.
Do you know you have a little cute dimple?
Do you know you have big giant boobs?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Stop.
Getting into Old Louisville Batch 3.
It's wet powdered sugar. It's almost like that hard icing smell on top of Christmas cookies.
I'm with you 100% because I would say people will identify with hard icing on Christmas cookies more than they will with wet powdered sugar. But it's wet powdered sugar.
That's exactly what it fucking is.
It actually is. This is a moist powdered donut, even though we're trying to cut back on our use of the word moist.
Yes.
That's a banger.
It is so different from the other ones. It really is. It is so much more oaky, a dark barrel.
This one brings me back to something that we have not said in a long time about MGP bourbon, but we used to say it all the time. Mm-hmm. It is like a darky, brown sugary, oak-influenced bubblegum.
Dark. Say that again. Not dark.
It is like a dark, burnt oak influenced bubblegum. It has that classic MGP bubblegum flavor or flair on it.
Yeah, so it's like the gum isn't pink, but it's made out of the fibers of the barrel.
The suit is black now. That is fantastic.
It is a really good change of pace, honestly, from what we have just had. And I love everything that we just drank. But those are on the sweeter side, which I prefer. I love it. This one, I'm like a savory meat dinner girl. Do you know? I don't know.
It's barrel bubblegum, barrel bubblegum, barrel bubblegum. I love it. Last but not least was for sale on Bourbon Outfitters for $60, doing big things at great prices. This is Starlight Cigar Batch Bourbon Whiskey finished in
Bourbon.
and rum barrels. Where else are you gonna get a cigar batch bourbon for $66? Starlight, that's where you're gonna get it. This one is 4.5 years old and proofed at 117.3.
Shit, smell that.
A beautiful perfume.
It smells like a ding dong. No. Or a Swiss roll or some of that.
What's
like
that
this chocolate.
What's that Little Debbie's? Is sort of like a vanilla
Ding dong.
thing. No, it's like a vanilla cake around like a raspberry filling.
Oh, what is that? I don't know.
That's this, whatever that is.
But this to me smells all chocolate. I'm just getting mocha.
I'm getting what I said before.
Gosh, who gets mocha? Me. It's a Sara Lee Swiss roll, Sara Lee Ding Dong. It's a Sara Lee. When Christmas time comes out, it's the Christmas one, but with the chocolate cake, not the vanilla cake.
Quick question for you. Drinking that, would you guess that's only 4.5 years old?
I don't know. Let me try again.
Prove it. That drink's like it's 6-7 years easily.
The smell, though, on the nose does smell a little young. It does. It doesn't smell like 4 years.
I
The
just
taste, I kind of want to say, now that you pointed it out, been so into ding dongs, it's like a 6.5, 7 year. Yeah, I can taste that.
I agree to disagree on the nose. I don't, and it's okay. I don't think the nose smells crafty. I do think it drinks like a 6 or 7 year. I think the finish is outstanding. It is.
Yes.
You know what I think? That some cigar batches, it gets too many finishes. The finishes go on for too long. It just ends up being like all finishes, and you sort of lose the bourbon in there somewhere. This is not that. This is a perfect balance of a couple of finishes over a really strong 4.5 year bourbon. This, now that we reviewed it, this one's coming home to Daddy. This one's going upstairs with Daddy.
Dude.
I'm drinking this one, and I'm definitely having a cigar with it.
It is so freaking, it's perfect. It's a dessert drink with the fucking cigar. It's so amazing. And you know what? Life is short. Eat dessert first.
Perfect to pair with a cigar. A lot of tobacco notes on there. Just having the two finishes created like this beautiful, deep, dark tobacco flavor over top of what I believe to be a more mature bourbon than the age statement proclaims it to be.
Oh, no, the tobacco, though. It's
Love
a
it.
sweet, and I love it. The sweetness of this. Gosh, it's better than a Swisher Sweets. And y'all know I love those bitches.